So our idea hinges on the public education system in the US. So in the top left corner is kind of how we see education today. So all your traditional topics and subjects are kind of in their own category, like math and history and science. And then the arts are kind of thrown over to the side as like their own category. Some schools have robust arts programs, some have very little arts programming, but they're not really integrated either. It's like kids go to art class once a week and that's it, or kids take dance class once a week. But that's the extent of their kind of exposure to art and music and dance. So our goal throughout these next 5 is to find a way to integrate the arts into that traditional public school system in the US. So picture number 2, we talked a lot about how while a lot of this has to be school dependent, a lot of public schools depend on the government for kind of top down what they should be doing, what they should be teaching, all of the like standardized tests, things like that. So the second picture is lobbying for policy change, because we think while schools can do it independently with each other, they really need some overarching power dynamic to push them forward. So that's the second picture. The third picture is artists and teachers collaborating together. So we pictured this as like the first of its kind, some kind of like conference, I guess, of sorts, where it kind of consists of traditional school teachers, arts teachers of all kinds, and then also like professional artists who are interested in furthering arts education. So our idea here was that this conference would be hosted, and all of these different people would come together to collaborate on how to integrate the arts of any kind, whether it's music or dance or song or visual art, into traditional lesson plans for school grade teachers. So our thought for this was like, you know, school teachers could lay out their curriculum for the year, say even just for math. Say like, we're going to teach multiplication here or addition here to these third graders. And then arts teachers could come along, or artists could come along and say like, oh, there's a lot of math in music. Like music has a lot to do with math. So why don't you teach this addition through like learning a song or like learning how notes are played on an instrument to relate the two. So that was our idea for this collaboration piece. And then from that, we were hoping that like that kind of collaboration would turn into a set task force, either at a state or national level. State seems more realistic, I think, to start. At a state level of teachers, professional artists, art teachers, who can really take that collaboration and put it into actionable lesson plans and say, okay, we have like a third grade math teacher who's going to do a multiplication lesson in combination with like a music, like an instrumentalist of some kind. And they'll create a lesson plan together. And then that moves kind of into square 5, which like those all become resources for teachers across the state and the country to use to say, okay, someone already came up with a music focused multiplication lesson for kids in third grade. Why don't we take that and either use it or build off of it? And put what we've come up with back into this resource kind of cloud of sorts, I guess.
GitHub for lesson plans.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And then the last one is kind of our like ultimate goal, which was instead of the arts being way over there on the side, more the arts being right in the middle of the school with all the other subjects tying into the arts.